Hi everyone, this is Ishika Bhattacharjee, and today we will explore generative models, a significant and rapidly evolving area in artificial intelligence and machine learning. So, generative models differ from the traditional AI models. While conventional models are designed primarily to classify data or make predictions, generative models are designed to create new data samples. These generated um, samples are statistically similar to the data they were trained on, but are unique in themselves. So you can see uh, that they can produce outputs in multiple forms, including images, text, audio, and structured data, making them useful in domains like healthcare, marketing, entertainment, art, and scientific research. So there are some key concepts to understand generative models. Now let's explore some of them. The first one is data distribution learning. So generative models learn the statistical distribution of the training data, which includes patterns, correlations, and variations. Now, statistical distribution refers to how data points are spread or structured. By understanding this, the model knows what typical data looks like. Now, we can take a small example that when trained on handwritten digits, the model learns the general shapes, angles, and patterns that define each number. Now, the second concept is creation versus prediction. So, traditional AI models are predictive. They classify data or forecast outcomes, answering questions like, is it a cat or a dog? Or what happens next? But generative models are creative. They generate new data that resembles the original data, answering the question that how can we create something similar? Now, there is an example as a generative model can create an entire paragraph in the style of Shakespeare instead of just predicting the next word. And the third concept is simulation and augmentation. So, generative model act as virtual simulators, generating synthetic data for training, testing, and experimentation. Now, simulation refers to creating realistic scenarios virtually, and data augmentation refers to increasing the size and diversity of data sets with generated samples. Now, an example can be synthetic medical images can be generated for AI training without relying on additional patient data. Now, this must be very useful for us. Now, let's see how generative models work. So, generative models work by first learning the patterns and distributions in large data sets. Now, once trained, they can generate new data points that reflect these learned patterns. These involves these processes. The first one is learning statistical patterns. Now, analyze large data sets to capture structure, relationships, and variations. Next, uh, it does what? It generates new data. It creates unique, realistic outputs such as images, text, or audio. Now, after that, what it does, it simulates real world applications. Now, it generates synthetic data for training AI, testing strategies, or modeling scenarios without relying on costly real world data. After that, it does pattern generalization. Now, generative models do not memorize, they generalize learned patterns to create new outputs that are realistic. Now, this ensures generated data is diverse, unique, and not simply a copy of the training data. Now, example can be taken like a model trained on human faces. It can generate entirely new faces while retaining realistic facial structures. And the last one is support for decision making and innovation. So, by producing realistic synthetic data, generative models help organizations explore hypothetical scenarios or test strategies and make very informed decisions. Now, they also enable innovation, particularly in areas such as design, marketing, and scientific research. Now, suppose marketing terms can generate personalized ad visuals, right? While researchers can simulate drug interactions before conducting real experiments. So this is how the generative models actually work by performing these steps. Now we are going to see what are the benefits the generative models are giving us. So the generative models offer multiple benefits across industries. Like it enhance creativity. It can produce AI generated art, music, images, text, design and content and so many content that are humanly possible. So they are creating things also. They can generate things. And then it increases the training dataset size and diversity that will improve AI model performance because AI is feeding on the datasets, right? So if the dataset contains diversity, my AI would perform very well on any instant, right? And then its benefit is simulation and testing. Now, test strategies or simulation scenarios in healthcare, finance, and autonomous systems can be done by these generative models. Next comes personalization. So, these models can generate content curated for individual users that will enhance the engagement of the users with the particular model or the particular application. And the next benefit is cost and time efficiency. So, of course, it can generate so much creative data, so it will obviously reduce the need for manual data collection and also expensive experimentation. So these are the benefits we are getting from the generative models. Now let us see some of the applications that it is doing. So real world applications of generative models are very diverse, like art and entertainment. AI now can generate paintings or any music or any digital content and also deep fake videos. And in the healthcare field, synthetic medical data sets for research, training, and uh, uh, and anonymization can be done by these generative models, right? Also, we can do natural language processing. We can generate some stories, some creative stories. AI assisted writing, our content can be more enhanced, and visual content generation with these data. Next is scientific research. So we can simulate experiments, generate molecular structures, and can predict protein folding and model complex systems. So these are some applications that are going on with these generative models. So to conclude, generative models are redefining the boundaries of AI. They allow machines to create realistic and meaningful data, bridging the gap between the analysis and the creation. So, by learning patterns, generating new data, and simulating real world scenarios, generative models enhance creativity, innovation, and decision making across industries. Now, as AI continues to evolve, generative models will play a very pivotal role in art, science, healthcare, entertainment, marketing, and beyond, enabling these machines to not only understand data but also generate new possibilities, pushing the frontier of human AI collaboration. And we need the balance, right? So, this is all about generative models. Now, in the next discussion, we are going to discuss some of the types of the generative models. That's all for this discussion. Thank you so much.